My name is Cheryl, and I am here with Axis, and we are here today with Kayden from the band Thira. And hi, Kayden.
Hey, Cheryl, how you doing?
Not too bad. And I understand that you are going to be out on tour again, and you will be coming to Michigan. So,
Yes.
I thought we could sit down and talk a little bit about your band. First off, maybe you could tell me a little bit about the type of music you play. I've heard industrial groove metal. I've heard different names put on your music. So how would you describe it?
I think the easiest way to describe it to somebody that's not heard it before is industrial metal. It definitely has elements of harsh industrial and a progressive metal, very, very aggressive. Definitely some Meshuggah influences and that kind of thing. But we also bring in a fair bit of melody and always want to have something that grooves that somebody can latch onto or even dance to if they felt the need.
Okay. And I actually did see you at the Machine Shop in Flint, Michigan, a while back, and I was very fascinated because I actually saw you getting ready to come out on the stage, and you have a really awesome stage show, and you actually wear some costumes, some things when you come out on stage. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're very, very focused on the live show. We kind of live and die by that. We're definitely a live band. As far as the outfits and the aesthetic, it's something that's based in steampunk. We've been doing that for a little while now, and we just kind of went in a darker, kind of an almost post-apocalyptic direction with it. And then everybody that's on stage, adopts a character and designs their look and their stage clothing around that character. Like, for example, go by the aviator sometimes, so I have the bomber helmet and the goggles and everything like that. So it's something that we can be cohesive with, and then people seem to really latch onto, and it makes us even more memorable that way.
It really does, because I saw you getting ready, and you came out, and you really did just burst down the stage, and you had your I guess costumes, for lack of a better word, and you were playing, and then partway through the show you actually started taking, I imagine it gets really hot, you started taking some of the pieces off that you were wearing, and to me that made the show very exciting, because for part of the show you had everything on, part of the show you didn't, and it just, visually, it was very interesting to see that. To see, after a few minutes, what does that person look like when you start taking some of the stuff off. And I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. So you're the aviator. Can you tell me who the other people are in the band and what their stage personas are?
Yeah, so I am the vocalist as the aviator. We discussed kind of a World War II pilot crossed with steampunk airman that's been through some hard times. The bassist Kaz is the villain, so he has a pea coat, top hat, and kind of a full face mask with an eye patch that really obscures his face.
Okay.
Cap, our guitarist, is the gentleman, or the traveler. We're kind of in a transition period, but he has a half face mask, bandana, as if he was, protecting his nose and mouth from traveling through the desert. And then Dig, the drummer, is the engineer, so he's got a leather shoulder piece that he actually made himself, and then chains on his wrist and neck, so kind of a wasteland mechanic look.
Okay. Well, I do really like that you have that, and what do you call them? Do you call them personas, costumes? What do you call them? Alter egos?
We usually refer to them as characters.
Characters, okay. So, I mean, yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So we pick the character that we want to emulate, and then build the look around that.
Okay.
So it helps make everything cohesive and kind of gives you a clear goal instead of just having something a little bit haphazard and patchwork together.
Okay. And that's really interesting. So when people come out to see you, they can expect that, and you are going to be back in Michigan. I am actually from Michigan, and you will be at the Civil Unrest Tour in Battle Creek.
Yes.
So that is something for us to look forward to this summer. And you'll also be really touring across the United States. You have tour dates for months. I was actually looking at all of them, and you really are booked quite far ahead. So you will be out there, and you are a touring band, and people will be able to see you, which is really nice.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of things coming up. Not everything's announced yet, but we've definitely got some big plans for later this summer into the fall. So we've more or less been on the road since last September.
Okay, so tell us about what albums, or rather CDs and EPs you have out, and are you supporting your newest right now?
Correct. The newest is the Vein 1, Varied States of Decay. It's a 6-track disc, and it's probably as a whole the best representation of where we're coming from and what we've been doing musically. And then we'll be supporting that throughout the end of this year. And then either by the end of this year or at the beginning of next year, we're going to take a break and then write and record a new release, and then early next year head out in support of that. So
Okay.
We've been touring on this one for about 18 months or so. Okay,
so that's something for fans to look forward to, because this CD has been out for a while, and people will be excited to hear what you're gonna do next, right?
Absolutely.
So, do you know who else? Will you be traveling with the same other bands, or will you be touring with different bands over that time period that you're out touring?
Over this next little bit until the end of June, we're with Il Nino, Straight Line Stitch, Motogrator, The Bloodline, Davey Suicide, Lydia Can't Breathe, Dark Cell, and a bunch of other bands. But once this tour is over, we'll be part of because it's a Civil Unrest, it's kind of like a festival tour.
Right.
So it's a lot of bands, bigger venues, focus more on the event than any single band.
Right.
But once that's over, we'll be doing some shorter headlining runs, and then later this fall it'll be part of a 2 or 3 band tour that'll be a lot of work in the East, but really it'll be a full U.S. tour.
Right. So it will vary a little bit who you're playing with. But the Civil Unrest Tour sounds like a really fantastic tour with a lot of people on it. And you'll be at the Music Factory for that in Battle Creek here in Michigan.
Correct.
And so do you feel that you will ever change your costumes, or do you think that you will keep those, like say the members of Kiss? They've never changed their look. Do you think that you will stay with that and have that for your career in this band?
I think the characters will stay fairly constant, but the actual outfit and the look is always evolving.
Okay.
So there's always room for improvement with us, but the overall theme and feel will just develop into better versions of what we're doing right now. That's kind of the way we look at it.
As you go along, things will change a little bit. So who writes the music in the band?
We actually all do. Especially with this last EP, it was, people will develop the seed of an idea. A couple minutes of a song, or something even shorter. And then as a group, if we decide to move forward with it, we completely tear it down and rebuild it from the ground up. Even though I'm primarily a vocalist, I will help refine rhythms and guitar parts and the synth melodies and everything like that. And I get a lot of help from the other guys when we come to vocal parts, both rhythm of more aggressive sections and melody.
Sure.
And then once that's all ready, then we going in, we have the idea of what the thematic content will be as far as the lyrics. But then I come up with something, show it to the guys, and then make it work in the song.
And that's nice that you can kind of do it all together and get everybody's input. And I'm sure there's some songs that are written primarily by one member, but everybody brings their music, and then you work on it together and get it out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's really nice. And so, where can we find your music? Can we find it at iTunes, your website? Where can we find your music?
You can find it on iTunes, but the best place to find everything is at ThiraBand.com.
Okay.
Thiraband.com. You can listen to all of our music for free.
Okay.
And pay to download or buy physical discs if you decide to do so, and we do have some merch available there too.
Oh wow, that's really nice. So, and I know that you're also very accessible to your fans. When I saw you all came out to the merch table to sell your CDs and sell your merchandise and meet the fans. And I think that is really wonderful and probably a big part of the shows for you, that you are so accessible.
Absolutely. That's, depending on how the show goes, like that's either top two or the best part of doing what we do is, being able to interact with people and make new friends in every city and just actually be able to get up close and connect with people versus, having that distance. So it's really nice, especially the level we are as a band. It helps us, in our careers, and it helps us, stay sane and keep loving what we do. Like that's half of it's half of what we do, and half the reason why why we're able to keep going is meeting all the people.
So we know that we can find you on your website. You've just told us that. We know you're on Facebook. And we know we can meet you at the shows, and we can buy CDs or merchandise there. And I didn't mention this, but you are from Minnesota, correct?
Yeah, the band is based out of Minneapolis. I did grow up in Michigan.
Oh.
Personally, but then moved to Minnesota a number of years back, and then ended up meeting up with the rest of the guys in the band there.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. Where were you born in Michigan?
She was born at the Cheryl Hospital in Lansing.
Okay.
But I grew up in the northern part of the Lower Peninsula, a little town called Atlanta, Michigan.
Okay.
It's like between Gaylord and Alpena, but my mother and father's family, they grew up in the Flint area, the greater Flint area.
Okay, so when you played in Flint, that was I don't know how old you were when you moved, but it was kind of like coming back home, right?
Oh yeah, and I love coming back to Michigan because a lot of my family still lives there, and makes it nice to be able to see family.
Yeah, well, that's very cool. When you come back here, you can see people, and that is really nice. So I'm going to ask you one other question, just a fun question. If you had anybody that you could play with, dead or alive, who would you play with? If you could have your dream show.
I think right now it's kind of a toss-up between the opening for either Marilyn Manson or Rammstein.
Okay. Two very awesome artists, right?
Correct. And as far as theatrics and huge stage production, they're two of the top. It's almost like the pinnacle of that avenue of music. So
well, I was very lucky.
Yeah,
I was really lucky to see Marilyn Manson when he came through. He came through Michigan not too long ago, and he still has a wonderful stage show. I don't know if you get to, probably don't get to see very many shows, do you? Because you're actually playing them. So
yeah, not too often.
So that is always an interesting thing with bands is that unless you're at a festival where there's a lot of other bands where you can kind of run over and see somebody, it's the rare night that you get an evening off that you can actually go to a show and actually catch one for yourself, right? So,
right.
Have you seen either one of them? Have you actually been able
I have not been fortunate enough to catch either one of them.
So hopefully, one of these days, maybe you'll even be on a festival with one of them, right? And then you could just run right over and see them, and
yes.
that would be perfect, right? That would be the perfect thing.
Yes, absolutely, it'd be a dream come true.
All right, well, we are talking with Kayden, and you are from the band. You're going to say it for me, right? Thira.
Yes, it's Kayden from Thira.
Kayden from Thira. And they are out on tour right now, so you can see them, and they will be, if you're from Michigan, they will be at the Music Factory in Battle Creek on the Civil Unrest Tour, and you can go see them and lots of other great bands. And I thank you so much for talking with me, Kayden, and fans should go to your website and Facebook and check out all the music and all the things you have there to offer.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.